Like, come on, girl. Come on. This horse looks like shit. I'm sorry. I don't want to say that to be rude, but he does. I mean, he looks very underweight. Hey bitch, and welcome back to another video of me talking about people I hate. Now, I know, guys, I know. I'm well aware that this woman has been sent to me for at least the last couple of months. Honestly, the only reason I'm making this video is because my last video, there were so many comments, it was overwhelming. This is much more than some random influencer with a stallion that's posting somewhat inflammatory videos. Do I think that Tanya is posting these videos of Socks the Stallion because rage bait? No, I genuinely believe that she thinks that this is okay. Just like how most influencers that own stallions that behave in this manner genuinely think that that behavior is perfectly fine. So there's a big disconnect here. If you just want to attack somebody and say that they're wrong and they're clickbaiting and they're rage baiting, but not actually talk about the issue, then you're never going to resolve the problem. But before I get into this video, I do have to say we have a Patreon and members, you guys. For anyone who wants to see additional horsey content, you guys can check us out over there. The link for that is always below. Also, don't forget to check us out on Instagram, my business Instagram account, which is Orbiting Beast. I post all my artwork, cartoon, and digital collage over there, so you can head over there to check us out. If you're unfamiliar, Sausage, Socks, and Steve is what the Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube channel for Tanya is called. Tanya is the owner of Sausage, Socks, and Steve. Socks is Tanya's Hanoverian show jumping stallion. And basically, all you need to know about Tanya to know if she's a reputable person in the horse industry is the fact that she openly claims that she works in the racing industry. Great. Yeah, that definitely makes you credible. Now, there's a huge debate surrounding if Socks, which I believe he's a 20-year-old stallion, is actually a purebred Hanoverian, which, surprise, surprise, he's not. If you actually look at his pedigree, this horse is pretty much just a complete mixed bag of all different types of warm bloods. If Socks was a purebred approved Hanoverian stallion, he would be registered with the Hanoverian Verbrand or the British Hanoverian Horse Society, but he's not. Socks is instead registered with the Anglo-European Stud Book, or AES. The AES is essentially a registry for crossbred warm blood horses. The AES is essentially no different from other crossbred registries like Frisian Horse Heritage, where you can essentially have a horse that's barely Frisian at all, but claim that it is a Frisian. Moreover, one thing I find to be very interesting, however, is that Socks actually isn't a licensed approved stallion by AES anymore, which it's funny that Tanya still advertises this on Socks's Facebook page, presumably because she's still trying to breed him irresponsibly to other people. But there's essentially only a few reasons why his license would have been revoked by AES, and it mostly boils down to either genetic issues or Tanya is breeding him outside of the AES guidelines, which is honestly most likely because if you look at his offspring, there's only 4 offspring on his AES profile, but yet Tanya claims that Sausage is Socks's firstborn son, but Sausage is nowhere on his approved offspring. Another really concerning factor about Socks is that Tanya didn't even do the basic bare minimum genetic testing for her stallion. As you can see, the WFFS is not tested. For those who don't know what WFFS stands for, it's essentially warm blood fragile foal syndrome. This is a genetic disorder that primarily affects warm blood horses, which is the reason why all warm bloods before breeding should be tested for this if you're a responsible owner and breeder. It's essentially a mutation mutation in the PLOD1 gene, which results in weak connective tissues, leading to severe health problems in affected foals. But I think it's important to discuss Tanya's current situation. So Tanya posts all these videos on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube of her Stallion socks, and he's blatantly misbehaving. I mean, I don't even have to address these videos or react to them or go in depth on these behaviors. These behaviors are not acceptable. This is dangerous to have a stallion behaving like this around other people's horses. There's a likelihood that the stallion could get loose at horse shows and go and mess with other people's horses, mares, geldings, etc. Tanya seems to just blow it off as this behavior is him being quirky and funny, and he just has a personality, guys. It's not me. It's him. He's got a personality. What am I supposed to do?
Socks the Stallion has something to say to all the TikTok trainers that put him down every day. I am a quirky horse and I have special needs, so please don't compare me to all those other docile breeds. I had a hard start, so they sent me away. They said they didn't like how I would prance and play. But then I found someone who understood my strange brain. She was kind and patient and took away all my pain.
I am dead inside.
While I understand what she's trying to say in this video, because I'm certainly not the type of person who believes that horses should just be mindless pieces of machinery that just do every single thing you want them to do and have no personality and not be able to play and goof off. There's a big difference between a horse that's playing and being a little goofy and a stallion that's exhibiting borderline aggressive behavior, which you can very clearly see come out in this video. I was actually kind of shocked when I saw this video. I was like, why would you post this? Tanya seems to be irresponsibly breeding him to other horses for her own benefit, and maybe even additionally to sell his offspring. So there's no real way of knowing if she's a full-on backyard breeder or if she's just doing this for herself. But ultimately it doesn't matter, because this is purely irresponsible breeding and handling of these horses. And there's not really a reason or an excuse for her to keep this horse a stallion other than for her own personal benefit. Like, come on, girl, come on. This horse looks like shit. I'm sorry. I don't want to say that to be rude, but he does. I mean, he looks very underweight. Tanya, I don't think is actually a bad rider. I've seen her ride in multiple videos. I don't think she's the worst rider ever. And I certainly don't think that she's abusive to these horses. I actually think that she doesn't really know what she's doing, and she tends to be way too lenient and naive and just blows off the hate comments as people who want her to abuse her horse or, you know, treat her horse poorly. And this is why I said at the beginning of the video that I don't think she's actually posting rage bait. I think a lot of people are wrong for attacking her and saying that she's posting rage bait. I genuinely think that she believes that this behavior is okay. The problem that Tanya needs to address is the fact that this horse needs to be gelded, and he is not in the position to be a stallion anyway. He has very poor conformation, and he's definitely not the type of Hanoverian, even if he was a purebred, that you'd want to be breeding. At multiple points in multiple videos, this horse doesn't even have basic manners when it comes to just standing at a mounting block, which we've talked about this before when I went over Aaron Williams' Stallion, how G had so many problems with standing at the mounting block, and even Aaron talked about how it scared her to correct him when he would walk off at the mounting block because he would start having aggressive behaviors and rearing and whatever, so she was just letting him get away with it.
Oh, yes, I know it's very naughty that he walks off when you get on him before anyone comes at me again, but basically I've tried so many times to stop him doing it, but we went through a phase like about a year ago where every time I tried to pull him backwards, he got a bit frisky and would rear up. So letting him walk on a step is the lesser of two evils.
That's a pretty clear sign that you have some significant problems to address with your horse, or you should just geld them. Now, Erin, to her credit, actually did put G through training and he's behaving significantly better. So that's great. That's exactly what you should do as a responsible horse owner, is you should address those types of behaviors. But I think this trend of owning stallions, influencers owning stallions, influencers wanting to breed their own horses, we saw irresponsible breeding with Miss Crazy Maisie. We've seen it with a bunch of other influencers on the platform, homestead horsemanship. These people are irresponsible breeders. Irresponsibly breeding horses should not be encouraged in any way. And that's honestly the biggest problem with these types of influencers. It's less about these people having dangerous stallions, because ultimately at the end of the day, the only person who's going to get hurt by that is them. The equestrian industry should not be promoting irresponsible breeding of horses on the platform. Now, there's a myriad of different types of genetic issues that are passed down from generation to generation when it comes to breeding horses. Each breed is different. You have genetic issues associated with quarter horses, Arabian horses, Frisian horses, etc. This is the reason why horse breeding needs to be left up to professionals and not backyard breeders that don't know what they're doing. Because not only are you guys producing really poor quality offspring, even if your horse is a purebred horse, you're also not doing the genetic testing necessary. It honestly doesn't even matter if you're breeding this horse just for you, because you guys are not taking the proper steps and precautions to ensure that that foal is actually going to be a good quality animal. But a lot of people like breeding because they think that their horse is special. I mean, that's so stupid. I can't even get into that. It's just the dumbest thing ever. The point I'm making is that breeding is about improving the breed, not generating views for you as an influencer or creating another life when you're just completely clueless. Influencers like the ones I went over in this video normalize dangerous breeding practices. And I want to establish with you guys that just because a stallion is a purebred does not mean that the stallion should be bred. So coming back full circle, do I think that Socks the Stallion's owner, Tanya, is a bad person? No. Do I think that she has a potentially dangerous horse on her hands? Yes. Do I think that she has a lack of understanding and knowledge when it comes to horse behavior? Yes. Do I think that Socks the Stallion should be a stallion? No. Do I think that he should be bred? No. And do I think that he would be a much better horse if he was a gelding? Yes. Is Tanya an irresponsible breeder? Yes, she is. I would be very cautious if I were you guys about following influencers that own stallions, because most of these influencers have no clue what they're doing when it comes to stallion ownership and handling, and especially breeding. Anyway, guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was informative. I hope that you guys learned something. Don't forget to check out Patreon members and also Orbiting Beasts. Those links are going to be down below. I will see you guys in my next video, where I will be doing a fan art unboxing, I believe. So don't forget to send me your fan art. We still have so much fan art to unbox and put on the wall, you guys. But I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.